Thanks for inviting us in at 6 o'clock. And we want to begin tonight with day 2 of an Indianapolis murder trial. Prosecutors say that Caden Douglas hurled racial slurs, then shot and killed a man last summer outside of a bar on the south side of Indianapolis.
Today in court, the jurors heard from people who were there when it all happened, and Ashton Hackman was there too. Ashton?
In the courtroom Tuesday, jurors heard testimony from witnesses who were at the Mucky Duck pub the night that Jeremy Dillingham was shot and killed. Prosecutors say those witnesses show that Caden Douglas was aggressive, drunk, and looking for a fight. A bartender described Jeremy Dillingham as a laid-back, smooth, big chill dude. He described Caden Douglas much differently: combative, aggressive, belligerent. The bartender testified staff kicked Douglas out. Surveillance video showed Douglas trying to get back inside before sitting outside revving his engine. A close friend testified Douglas repeatedly used racial slurs and called Dillingham to his car.
Between the vehicle pulling out and the point here where it's driving away without Mr. Dillingham being next to the passenger side, what is the defendant saying to Mr. Dillingham?
Come here, I got something for you. Along the lines of, come here, come here. He was more repeating himself over and over again.
Prosecutors then played surveillance video of the shooting. Dillingham is seen walking alongside the car. He swings into the passenger side window. Seconds later, a gunshot. Dillingham collapses as friends rush to help. He later died at the hospital.
We are generally getting into fights. We're very much regulars at that bar. After all of that, it kind of changed it.
Defense attorneys challenged both witnesses. They emphasized the bartender never saw the confrontation and questioned whether Dillingham's friend ever saw a gun. Questions jurors will weigh as the trial continues. This trial is expected to last through Thursday with closing arguments. If convicted, Douglas faces at least 45 years in prison. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Tonight, a former Indiana fire chief already charged with possession of child porn is now accused of additional child sex crimes. Roger Kemp was initially charged back in February after police were flagged to suspected child porn at his home in Columbus. Police say those files time-stamped back to 2012 and involved a girl, now an adult woman, who told police they had a sexual relationship when she was just 14. Kemp tonight is charged with child exploitation and sexual misconduct with a minor. He has since resigned as the chief of the Gregg Township Fire Department.
Much calmer at this hour tonight than what we had just 24 hours ago. We had that round of storms and heavy rain that came through, and Angela, at least now we're rain free until Friday, yes. But now we're getting some symbols of just how strong those storms were last night.
Yes, within the last hour, National Weather Service office out of northern Indiana confirming a tornado. EF0 damage found, 65 to 85 mile per hour winds, lots of trees down, damage to a local business near Marion, and then straight line wind damage continued, which is the reason you can see all of these storm reports. All of these are wind damage reports north and east of Indianapolis. And again, confirmation of a tornado in near the Marion area. We'll get additional information on this from the National Weather Service office out of the northern part of the state in the next 24 hours or so. Our storms from yesterday are now along the East Coast, causing problems with heavy rain, severe weather, and flooding. Much quieter day, as Ann pointed out. We have some sunshine, clearing skies, lower humidity. It's 84 in Indianapolis, 80 in Muncie, 82 in Bloomington. Temperatures will drop into the 70s over the next couple of hours for all of us, and then eventually into the 60s. Much more mild start tomorrow morning. Sunshine and 82 on Wednesday.
Cars easily drive through the train overpass at 10th and Sherman now, but that's not always the case.
It gets bad on rainy, severe rains.
Falcon Balcazar works at the auto shop right next to the intersection. He repeatedly takes videos like this.
It was just astonishing what people can do.
Fair enough.
Honestly.
He saw it happen again on Monday.
There was like 2 cars that got stuck in there. Something I guess people should realize, you know, if your car's really low to the ground, you shouldn't pass by it.
There has to be some action taken.
Jackson Clark wants a solution.
Why are we still talking about the same issue when it's been decades and decades of the same problem, right? Like, we've figured out the problem. Let's go ahead and figure out how to solve it.
You can find a similar issue at Southeastern and Sherman, too. Deep flooding under a train overpass, easily swallowing cars.
People want to say these neighborhoods aren't as important as Broad Ripple or Meridian Kessler or Fountain Square. People live here and they work here and they rely on this intersection. And it's necessary that it's in working order at all times.
Citizens Energy Group owns the stormwater infrastructure under 10th and Sherman. They say the system is only as large as it was when installed in the early 1900s, and the amount of rain now can overwhelm the system, leaving roads flooded.
10th and Sherman's one of the multiple infrastructure failings of our city. It's really tough to deal with. Even if it rains for 10 minutes, it's going to flood.
Citizens says it would take a multi-million-dollar project that includes DPW, the railroad, and Citizens Energy Group to fix these issues. And they say it's not something they currently plan to do. In Indianapolis, Ella Rhodes, 13 News.
So if you do see a flooded road, contact Citizens. The phone number is 317-924-3311. That number is at the bottom of your screen, and they can assess whether the infrastructure is blocked or if crews can make a quick repair. Also, report flooded roads to DPW and then use another route to stay safe.
AES Indiana says crews have been working very hard today to make sure that they could restore the power that was lost after the storms came through yesterday. The company sharing some photos of the work today, clearing some fallen trees and clearing up some down power lines across the city. We just checked. At last word, there are still about 1,000 customers at this hour that are without power.
Back to school is here for many school districts across central Indiana.
It's hard to believe we're at that point already, but this semester we'll start with something new for students, a new cell phone ban. Samantha Johnson shares what the law means for students and also for their parents.
The new wireless communication policy bans cell phones for the entire school day from bell to bell, and most of our school systems are sharing the same rules. Wireless devices must be turned off and stored away. That includes phones, smartwatches, and other devices that can connect to the internet. And that school day includes the school day, lunch, and passing periods too. In some schools, like Wayne Township, the superintendent tells us not much is different.
In our K-8 buildings, that's been the case. Really, it's only going to affect our high school students who, up till last year, were able to use their phones during passing periods and during lunch.
And for HSE, one of the state's largest school districts, it is all about better grades and more social interaction, not punishing students.
But we're going to follow the law. And the first part of that is making sure everybody knows what the law is and what it says, and then we'll deal with situations as they arise.
The biggest concern we're hearing from parents is, how do I communicate with my child if there's an emergency? How do I know they are safe? Parents are encouraged to ask questions now and call the office anytime to pass along information to students. Now, where those cell phones will be stored often depends on how old that student is and which school they go to. Either a backpack or a locker. Pockets are not an option. We have put together a long list of different school districts and their policies. You can read that right now at WTHR.com. In Marion County, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.